this computer. Okay, so Guardian Zones implementation. I thought it was important that we've had, I think, nearly 60 new users over the last week, and a few, not many, are confused on how to use them. It's not that simple. Obviously, I've been trading for 20 odd years, and I find it simple because we've been developing it for a year, and I understand it's not that simple. So we're going to go right from the beginning. We're going to open a new chart. We're going to put it on, and we're going to do different types of chart types. Okay. So I'm just going to click a new tab here for now, and I'm going to select ES. Right. So one of the first things that we do is we're going to decide this one's going to be a 5-minute chart for now. Okay. The next thing we need to load is bars. Okay. We need a minimum of 2,000 bars. So I always put 2001. Okay. Click OK. So it's going to get us a new chart. Oh, I forgot. I got all these things that start up at the same time. So I'm just going to discontinue those when the chart loads up. So just going to get rid of these for now, because I just want a blank chart. Okay. We got a blank chart, nothing on it. One of the things I hate about charts actually is the grid. I'm not a fan of the grid. So I'm just going to take that off on NinjaTrader. Just going to make them transparent. And everybody's got their own thing, color of the chart and everything, but I like a black chart, no grid, nothing. Pure. Remember, we're looking at price action, we're looking at with the Guardian Zones, those points of control sort of thing. Next thing is we right click on indicators, and we look for the Guardian Zones. So I'm going to double click on that so it goes down the bottom, and I am going to click apply. Okay, so everything is being popped and they come up pretty quickly. Okay, what happens is they come up with all the zones on the left here are, I've got a cross in the box. So we've got weekly, daily, 60, 30, 15. And the native time frame is 5 minutes. Okay. So color code, again, very simple. There are videos on this, but I want to go through it. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This dark purple down the bottom, this really fat dark purple zone is the weekly. If I click on that, that will disappear. Okay. The next one is the daily zone. This is these gray ones. Okay. If I click on that, that will disappear. The next zone is the 60-minute, and these are these pink ones here. If I click on that, they disappear. And then the 30 is green. Click on that. Some of those disappear. You see at the top there. Some of those are, there's confluence between 15 and 30. So they're really strong zones. We'll go through that in a little while. And then the 15-minute is the turquoise. You can see down the bottom here, we've got the complements of the 15 and the 5. And then that native time frame is the 5 minute. Okay, now, if I change the time frame to the chart to 1 minute, okay, as default, all of them come back on again. Yeah. But this time, the orange, the yellow, if you like, is the 1 minute. So if I just click daily, weekly, 60, 30, 15, they are the 1 minute time frame, the zones for the 1 minute. Okay. So then if I go up to, say, I don't know, 15 minute now. So now the native time frame is 15 minutes. So if I actually just click all of those off to begin with, it's not turquoise anymore because it's the native time frame. It's the time frame that's on the chart, and that is now in yellow. We add the 30. We can see there's lots of confluence down there. 60. We can see lots of confluence down there as well here with that 15. We've got some major sort of resistance there. And then the daily, we got the daily down here somewhere. And if we click on weekly, we know that comes in down here as well. So it's also about being sensible. So if we're trading off the 15-minute, when the chart loads up, and the reason why it's defaulted to all of them is so you can see that larger picture. So we can see at the top here, we've got a 60-minute in a daily time. Okay, so we know around 4,200, there's some massive resistance, and we need to just keep that in mind. Down the bottom here, 3,800 down to 3,726, we've got a crossover between daily and weekly, so that's very strong as well. But we don't perhaps need to have it on our charts right now. We can actually just take them off, so we're a little bit, you know, a little bit of room. So no matter what type of strategy you are trading, you know, whether you're using the VWAP Predator, the xBrat Algo, the Harmonics, Elliott Wave, roller coaster, it doesn't matter which strategy you are trading, you trade between the zones. Okay, you trade in fresh air. If there's no fresh air, you don't trade. Most traders, 99% of them, try and find a reason to trade, and we don't want that. We want to find a reason not to trade. If we can't find that reason and there's fresh air, and we've got a signal and we've got confirmation, the likelihood is that that trade will be high probability. So don't get hung up on, sometimes you might get a day where we're in a real narrow range and there's lots of support and resistance. Guess what? You don't trade it. It's as simple as that. We don't have to do 20 trades a day. We don't have to trade every day. If we can get 3 out of 5 good trading days with 2 or 3 good trades, you will make more money that way than trying to do 20 trades a day, 5 days a week, trying to find reasons to trade. Okay? That is the facts. Okay? I've been doing this a long time. Yeah. I've got a big house in Spain. I live in Dubai. I do this. I don't make that much money selling software. I make money trading. Okay. And I make money by not over trading. I look for specific instances where I've got fresh air. And some of you have known me for 8 years or whatever. I know there's people in here, Martha, for example. You've known me, and we've met in the US. Framing the charts is always the thing that I have always talked about, because it's so important. You only trade in fresh air. You do not trade into resistance or support. Now, it's taken a year of development, but now we've got these automated. The thing is to understand how to learn, how to use them properly. So this is the S on the 15-minute. Okay. We could go down to the 3 minutes, for example. Again, when we change that time frame, everything comes back on again. So we're going to talk about Friday, for example. Okay. We have the pre-market session here. So we had employment data here. Okay. Employment data. Now, when employment data comes out, there's always really sort of strong reactions, and there's strong reactions to data on the Sunday. So you've got to be very careful how you trade those. But there was a trade here. I actually took the oil trade, and we'll talk about that in a little while, because I've made that a video of that. You know, we could say that coming into that move, if you like, that data, we got strong support here. At that time, the bias is bullish. So what we're looking for me was a breakout of this, because above we've got lots of fresh air. Okay, didn't go all that way, but that was a big move. And then when we come back down towards the open of the session, this is where we trade between these zones here. And guess where it finds support? Okay, it finds support where we have the 60, the 15, and the 30 here. Okay, So this really strong support, then we come up to test this, and then we go range bound. There's no real trade there, okay? Later on in the morning, there was a trade breaking out of here, okay? And then it came back down again, but when it broke that support, there was another trade down to here. Now, depending on the strategy you use in the time frame, these zones don't change, okay? No matter what strategy you're trading, if you get a signal to go short here, you wait until it breaks that support and you go short all the way down into here. It comes back up to test that resistance. Guess what it does later on in the day? Actually breaks this really, really strong support. Okay, so there would have been a signal on something, yeah? Now, whatever strategy you're changing, I don't want to talk about strategy today. I really want to talk about implementation of these zones. The bias is bullish because of the heat map. Tara, okay. So again, when it breaks this zone, it's a massive move. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to oil. I'm going to go to the 5 minute. It won't show the trade on here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether it will show the trade. So bear with me a second. I just want to. Oops. Okay, yes, it did. So now I want to talk through this. I did make a video on this, but I want to talk through it as well. There were more trading opportunities, but I just didn't want to take them. So here we have, let me just uncheck the weekly. It makes no difference. There's no weekly. Uncheck the daily. If I uncheck the 60, we can still see there's confluence between the 5, the 30 and the 15 here. So this is really strong support going into that data, okay? So regardless of where we are, we're looking for either a long or a short when the data comes out. Now, we can't be too quick into this because we can see we're in this frame where it doesn't want to break out over the European session at all. It's going in and out. It's waiting for a stimulus to happen. And there are indicators that we use for that type of trade, the range breakout in particular, we would use in this situation, because what we do is define the range leading into that data set, and then we look for the breakout. Now, this 5 minute here was not relevant at that time. You see, it starts here, the yellow, and touches here. It did not print until we got this third touch just there, okay? So just ignore that for now, as I'm going back in time. What we do is we have the initial reaction to that data, okay? Now, in one of the videos I did recently, I talked about where the institutional traders would put their orders. Now, again, when we look back and we have that 60-minute, bear with me. Right, if this happens, this is a good instance here. I pressed slightly on the left, and you can see how you've got this left justified now. So right click, go on to indicators, and you see where it says scale justification left here. Click right, click apply, and that will disappear again, okay? So now we can see we've got 60-minute zones, 5-minute zones, 15 and 30-minute zones. This is really strong support, okay? So there's a good chance that when it comes down into this support after data, institutional traders will have a crap ton of orders on. And guess what? And I did this in the video another time about CPI data, and it's the same thing. It comes down into this big confluence area. All those orders came in and it pushed up. For me, I was a little late to the party. So I got in just as it broke this 15-minute zone here where that blue arrow is. And I took profit into that 60-minute zone. That was a $2,000 trade, okay? Or whatever, 2,500, whatever it was, okay? It was whatever, it was a trade, yeah? I didn't carry it into that resistance, okay? And then I stopped trading because it's later on in the day for me, you know, and then it goes range bound and then it breaks out of these supports. There would have been a signal on something, whichever strategy you got fresh air to the next one, you trade it. You trade the short, you trade the long, okay? You trade the short, you trade the long. It's not rocket science. What you've got to do is understand what the chart is telling you, what the support and resistance zones are telling you. So again, I waited for it to break this 15-minute. It did. I put an order on. It went long here. For me, I really should have put an order on to buy here, but I was too late. Okay. So I saw the reaction down here, order on to go long, away you go. Yeah, simple as that. Another thing that institutions would have done is they'd have seen all of this support here and put a short on down here. Yeah. So if it breaks this really strong support, it's going to crap itself. It's going to go down fast. But it didn't. So you cancel those orders and you carry on the way you want to do it. So we had lots of questions about different chart types as well. So I want to do that now as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to RTY. Okay. And I'm going to go onto the data series and I'm going to go to tick charts. Yeah. I'm going to go probably 500 tick, maybe, I think, something like that. 2001 bars again to load. We're going to click apply. So it'll take a little time to calculate because we've just been on minutes, okay? Because now it will calculate the 15, the 30, the 60, the daily, the weekly, but then that native time frame is 500 ticks, okay? So that's where that is there. So we can see now with, I mean, 500 ticks is probably too big, but I just wanted to show you it's some massive moves. Okay, so this is a tick chart. Now we can see the 60 in the purple, we can see the 15 in the turquoise, and then the 500 tick support resistance zones are here. One of the things we can look is look at previous zones. So if I just move that down, you might see it a little better. Okay, previous zones. If you click on that, you can see those previous zones just appear on the chart. Okay, now they may be relevant or may not be. If you just toggle them on and off, you can see if something's relevant for you. But the main thing for me is I just give them a quick toggle and see if there's something coinciding with what's happening right now. Those zones disappear because they're not tested. They actually go through. Yeah. So if within certain percentage of time, price action, you know, if those pivots don't form within those zones, then they're broken. So they're no longer relevant, but they could be further in the down. So we put that toggle on there. So I'm just going to get rid of the weekly and the daily. But the main thing is here, when you're on the tick chart, is you can understand that if we go back in time, there are plenty of trading opportunities, no matter what type of chart. So 500 ticks quite a big sort of time frame, if you like, a top chart type. But I just wanted to show you there are tremendous opportunities. You know, this here, for example, that came down and broke down below that short was pretty good, but when it came back up to test here and then went back down again, there's tremendous move down, absolutely huge move down. Now, and then on the other hand, the other chart types are things like Unirenko, which can be used for scalping. So this might take a longer time to, and I'm going to move this to oil. And then I'm going to go on the data series, and then we're going to go to Unirenko. Now, a scalping little tip here, Unirenko 135 is a fast scalping time frame. but it's one of my favorites on oil when I get time to do it. Again, 2001 bars, Unirenko 135, click apply. It'll take some time to work out, okay? One thing I would advise is don't try and do this when there's loads of data coming out for and the markets are open on a very fast time frame like this, because it will take a long time to calculate. Set your charts up. So in Dubai, I've only got 5 screens. Okay, I've got 5 screens. The one you see, one to the right of that, one to the left, one above, one on the left. I've only got 5. I've got 7 in Spain. Now, if you've got lots of charts set up and things like that, you need to do that on a Sunday night before the market opens. So everything's up and running, those zones are loaded in and everything's good. Don't try and set it up 15 minutes before the market opens. There's loads of data coming through. Your computer will go slow. NinjaTrader will go slow because there's lots of price action, lots of data. And if you've got 8, 9, 10 charts open on lots of screens, it will take time to actually get it sorted out, okay? So this loaded up quick today because the markets are closed, okay? So again, the 135 Unirenko, if I just uncheck these, is the orange, the yellow, okay? Now, this looks at major pivots, as you can see. If I put on the previous zones there, you can see there's some previous zones there. Okay, now, the thing is, for me, when I'm using this, I would probably only now add 15 minutes because it's a scalping time frame. So if you're on a 1-minute chart, it's good to know, is there any confluence with the 30? Yes, there's a confluence down here with the 30. That probably would make this a strong support. So, you know, that's quite relevant. It may dip into there, but we understand that. Is there any confluence with the 60? Yes, this is really strong support. Do I need it to trade? Probably not. I just understand that this is really strong support. And when I'm trading this, I'm trading it between the zones. We can see how it keeps hitting here, it keeps hitting. We're not going to go long into that resistance, guys, okay? We take the short down here, even midpoint down here, all the way down. Some longs here, really, really good. We only trade into fresh air. Now, I can guarantee if I put the roller coaster on there, there would be some phenomenal trades, okay? Because roller coaster with the Guardian zones and here is with the 135 Unirenko on oil is the prime type of trading scenario for me. So what I want to do now is, we've gone through a little bit. What I want to do is open the floor. And I apologize, guys, for getting here late. Didn't realize that clocks were changing in the US. So, you know, because I don't live in the US, I've lived in Europe or I live in Dubai. So what I want you to do is in the chat box here is, if there's specific chart types and instruments or questions you have on the Guardian zones, this is the time to ask. It's being recorded, and then we'll send this recording out to all those that are subscribed. We've had 60 new subscribers in the last week, and we've had some questions from there. This is why I've got this going, so I could answer those questions. So in the chat box, you know, ask away. It's important that you understand and that people watch this recording actually understand what's going on. If there's something that's you don't quite understand or whatever, don't be afraid to ask, because I want you to go away from this understanding that how to implement these zones properly. So please chip in. Okay, so for support and resistance, there's no other indicators that you'll need, because this is not just traditional support and resistance zones. It actually takes into account decision points from institutional traders. So there's for confluence, there's multiple time frame zones. When you get that confluence, that's really good support. Now, when we talk about other indicators, yes, you would look for you know, for the bias depth heat map to give you those confirmations, if you like. Okay, so when we get the oil pit open here, for example, we're green. This is on day trading down here because we're on the 10-minute. You know, once we start to break out, we're 5 out of 6 here. Just after following data, this is pretty good. That's a nice long trade into there. So I would use the bias depth as it is normally for those confirmations, if you like. So if you were only using the bias depth heat map with the guardian zones, and you were breaking down here, for example, and you're looking to take the short through this zone, all 6 timeframes are red here. You've got some confirmation to just trade that breakout of that support. Okay. The same here. It gets into that support. You don't know what's going to happen. You would take your profit. Do you want to trade that when it breaks through that confluence? Yes, I want to put an order on. Look at the bias depth heat map, all red. Take the short, and that's what it does. Goes all the way down. Does that answer your questions, Adhere? Because you really could just trade the gaps between the zones if you've got the confirmation from the bias depth heat map. Absolutely, yes. I mean, obviously, you're going to be there are other strategies that gives you those confirmations as well. So, I mean, Friday's not a great example. We've got a copper with the see. This is the reason not to take that sell order, okay, on the VWAP Predator, even though the bias depth heat map is all red. We're in a big daily zone here, okay, a really big daily zone that's got 60s in there as well. And, you know, we're getting towards the end of the day. You don't follow signals blindly. Yeah, really don't follow signals blindly. And Friday wasn't a great day for trading these because we had a big data event. Yeah. Let's have a look on range bars in a second. Lewis, on the CL chart, Unirenko 135, what would stop one from taking one short over the other? Okay, so let me go back to that one there. So CL Unirenko 135. Again now, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put the bias depth heat map on there. I've got to find it now. It's down here somewhere. Scalping, click on that. Okay. It's very difficult when you're using 135 to use the bias depth heat map, but we would look for signals as well. So again, indicators. Friday's not a great example, but okay. So you're talking about all these shorts down here, yeah? Right. This short didn't work out. This one did because it hit let's go through each trade, yeah? One by one. So we got a short signal here. The bias is green, okay? So if you took it, it didn't work out. You got another short down here, the roller coaster printed the trailing stop. That's fine. Long, you don't go long into resistance. Short here, it didn't work. Short here. Okay, so we're 50-50 right now. Longs you don't take, short, take, profit. Yeah. Long, no. Short, profit taken. No long. Short, huge profit. Okay. Long you don't take, there's not enough fresh air to the next zone. And then we're into this sort of territory here. So with trading, you've got to look at strategies that are going to give you certain win rate. So, for example, this short here, I wouldn't have taken that short. I've got no bias at all with red. I've got none until we start to come into this sort of area here, get the short. Now the bias is starting to change. We're not all green. We're getting yellow and reds. Again, this is a scalping time frame, so it's very fast. This is the short for me to take because the bias is starting to give me, you could have taken this one as well, but it's about getting the right strategy on the right time frame. It's quite difficult. So, for example, I know, and I haven't actually traded oil on the auto trader with this for a few weeks now because I've been moving house in Dubai and things like that. But one of the things I didn't know, between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. we had some really great trades. But again, Friday is a day-to-day, very difficult. But this, for example, 135 oil Unirenko is good. You just need to get the right time of day. So here we get a short, risk reward is pretty good down into the support, take the short's a winner. Tests the support, get the long order, loads of fresh air, it's a winner. Okay, that is around 11 to 11:30 a.m. Okay, really, really good, strong sort of signals, if you like. Again, here, if we go back, we can see we come to test. We don't take that long, even though it's a slight little winner here. I wouldn't take this short purely because we're already in that zone. But we come to test this zone, we get a short, we've got lots of fresh air, we trade to the next zone. Okay, what time is that? 10:41 a.m. Okay, so if you've got the roller coaster, if you're trading oil, 135 Unirenko, it doesn't take a lot of effort to go back so many bars. Just do it 2 or 3 days because it's a fast time frame and market conditions change. We can say between 10:40, or we make a note, to 11 a.m. this day was really good. Yeah, we go to the next day. We are talking, there's 10, so there's 11. We wouldn't have taken those trades. We get some great trades in here. They're about 11:30. So we can get our window now to, sort of 10:30 to 11:30, 12 o'clock. So we've got a 2-hour window to trade between zones with this particular strategy on this particular time frame. So Mohammed, oil 135 Unirenko for scalping. Most others, so if we're HG, for example, forget Friday, 3s and 5 minutes are really good. So for example, here, coming into the pre-market session on copper on the 5 minute, the VWAP Predator, we get signals here. These longs go all the way to the next zone. Really good for that pre-market all the way up to 10 o'clock. For me, I like to trade that sort of time period because of the time I'm in. And then, so just look at the standard 3-5. Now, I am a tick chart fan, but tick charts really work better with ES, RTY, YM. Never trade NQ, so I wouldn't do that. But when you get to oil, copper, gold, look at 3-5 minutes. If you want to scalp, you've got to play with those Unirenkos a little bit. But 135 for oil is pretty good. We're going to look at 135 now on copper. So we'll just change that over. So tick charts. On ES, don't trade it very often, but you're probably looking for reasonably quick moves. So you're looking for anything from 150 to 350. But if you want to do intraday, you're looking at 500 ticks. Okay. So this is copper. Just get rid of the weekly, daily. Okay. So again, on Friday, we had a great long here. Copper. Yeah, up until 10 o'clock, we get some reasonably good trades. The 135, I think. Right, if you can change these, again, top tip, start with 135 and then double each one. So that would be 2, 6, 10. Okay, I'm going to put 4001 bars on there because I want some more data there. Click apply. Okay, so those are fibs at 135 with Unirenko. Okay, so it's calculating right now, but there's some good look at these trades. Let's see where those zones are. These are really good trades. So again, just by going from oil to copper, we've had to change that type of Unirenko chart. And, you know, I can't tell you from week to week what are best. You've got to do the work, guys. Okay. I'm not there to hold your hand. It would cost you probably in the region of $500 to $750 an hour for me to, you know, to help you. So it's not affordable, okay? And I don't have the time. But what you need to do is, and the one thing, and there's a couple of my apprentices on here. I think we have Martha, Wilbur, as are here. So concentrate on one instrument, that's it. And they're all doing that for this whole year. So if you're, and Fred as well, sorry, if you're trading copper, okay, and you've got 5 screens like I am, okay, you can have 4 charts per screen. So you can have one screen with 4 charts with different Unirenkos and seeing what's behaving at what time and start to hone in and understand that behavior. You could have another on copper with a range breakout on the 10-minute, and you can and one on the 5-minute. You can really start to understand that behavior. You can have tick charts on copper and see if that works. Try it for a month. See if there's some good behavior there. You know, hey, you know, 2-6-10 seems to be pretty good on here. Again, one of the things we need to look at this point here is, and again, I did say around about 10 o'clock. So look, we come to test this 15-minute zone. We get a signal to go along here. We get a stop. We got 1 to 2 risk to reward. We don't take it. We don't take the profit when it hits that zone. Our roller coaster prints the trailing stop all the way up to here, and it gets taken out. Okay, we don't take that short because we don't short into support. We don't take that long because there's not enough fresh air. It was a winner. We're very selective. Later on in the day, it comes down, it comes to test, we get a short, risk reward of 1 to 3, we take the short there. So in that day, there, you know, from around the open, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 signals. We're only going to take 2 because of the fresh air. This one here, it was a winner. Not taking that one, not taking that one, no fresh air. We're not taking that one, no fresh air. We're not taking that one, no fresh air. We're waiting, we're sitting on our hands, we're doing nothing. It comes down, it comes to test, we get a signal, fresh air, we take it. 2 trades, that's it, okay? Okay, so let's go back to CL. 226, wow. Okay, they're big bricks, they are. So these were the 135 and whatever they were scalping. This is not scalping. So go to data series 226 3310 4416. This is one I've not used, so there's no memory here. It will take time to trade. So 135 is scalping. This one, these brick sizes are a lot bigger. So it'll be interesting to see how this performs between the zones. It will take some time to load, so we'll just hang on to make sure there's no more questions. Range bars, okay. So let's open up a new chart. Who asked about range bars? So Zahir, range bars. So let's go ES. Let's go range 4. Oh, sorry, 226. That's why it's taking. We're going to go bars 2001 and click OK. There. Okay, so let's just go back to that because it's calculating still. There's some good trades on those ones. Have we found something that's really cool? I'll tell you something. Have we stumbled on something that's really good there? These were big trades. 76.88, 76.16. That's pretty good. Let's change those Unirenkos. to 6. Let me get rid of those a second. And then we add guardian zones. Click apply. Still loading those Unirenko ones. I'm asking it to do quite a lot now. I want to change those chart properties. Don't like grids at all. Anybody a grid fan? They're a distraction. I could see that working very well with range. Is there a specific range that you use here? Oh, it's trying to load up the roller coaster as well. 4 range, yeah, this is 4 range, yeah. And I've got that on 4,000 bars now, haven't I? Some great moves there. I don't really trade range, but the guardian zones, they're very quite respect. Let me just put the previous zones on there. Yes. So yeah, you can get probably quite a big quad mile with those, but there's definitely good moves between the zones there. And remember, the native is just the yellow. Everything else, 15, 30, 60 daily, they're taken from those particular time frames. So roll up here. This is taking time to load up for some reason. No idea why. Now, which strategy you would use to trade with range is another question. Okay. Again, you can't use xBrat algo because that is purely designed around Heiken-Ashi. I don't think, but I will try if we could put the VWAP predator. Let's have a look. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Works pretty good. In the afternoons as well. I like that sell signal here. That really comes all the way down into the 60, and then we hold. See this one towards the end of the day as well, guys. You get a buy signal here, your entry is above the resistance. So you get a buy signal, you don't follow it blindly. What's in the way? What's making us not get in that trade? It's this resistance here. Your entry goes just above, and then it just goes hell for leather all the way into the close there. So again, it's to keep you out of trouble, but it's also to help with those entry strategies as well. And you need risk to reward. That's one of the biggest things there. This is really slowing down. I'm just going to take yeah, it's still working along there. So let me just, I'm going to add a new chart, see how. Unirenko 226. Bars 2001. Oh, hang on. See now. 226. Okay. Get rid of all these bloody indicators. And volume zones. Ooh, there's the grid. Okay, there's the 226. Again, it's not rocket science, guys. You know, take the weekly, take the daily, even take the 60 off on this type of time frame. There's some great moves between the zones here, just phenomenal. Again, you're not going to go here, and with this one here, the short that we said was good, the one we take was this one here. You see how on this time frame we've got that support. Okay, so on range, so the xBrat algo logic works on Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. Okay, so Heikin-Ashi are averaging candlesticks. Now, there's 12 points of control with xBrat algo. Okay, and a lot of them work better with an averaging candle. Okay, so it was designed in mind with Heikin-Ashi because it's about averaging. With range, I've never tried it. I'm not saying it won't work. It's just that it's designed around Heikin-Ashi. Yeah. So if I put on indicators. Yeah, absolutely. I'll do that in a second. So if I just put xBrat, I'll go. Yeah, you don't get many signals with the xBrat algo. There's some down here, but they're all wrong. They're all short here. They're not really, it's not really relevant. So I'm just going to take that off. I'm going to put that at 30 minutes. I'm going to take the VWAP predator off because that's no good now on the 30-minute time frame. Data series, 30-minute. I've got to change to bars. I'm going to go 2001. I'm going to click apply. And then I'm going to take off the predator. So again, now if on the 30-minute time frame, the native is the yellow, then we've got the 60 down here. And again, on ES, we've got that daily and the weekly down there. Those are not changing. See the xBrat, I'll go 6-star sell here, here and here. Do what, Uriel? Have you got the range breakout? Sorry, the Guardian zones. Do you have the Guardian zones? That's my first question. Do you have the Guardian zones? Okay. Have you got it loaded onto your chart? The Guardian zones, do you have it loaded onto your chart? Have you right-clicked? Let me go onto a new chart here. Let me take them off a second. Indicators. So blank chart, 30-minute. First thing we do, let's go through this, everybody. Data series. We're going to go to bars. We're going to go to 2001. We're going to click apply. Okay. So again, data series, bars, 2001. This must be done on any time frame for your chart. Click apply. Right click. Indicators. In the little xBrat folder here, double click, you will see Guardian zones. You might not see all of those because if you haven't got them, they won't do it again. Double click on Guardian zones, they go down to the bottom here. Click apply. And they will appear. Okay. So again, on an empty chart, right click data series. Choose the time frame and the chart type that you want to trade. In the time frame section here, click on bars. Bars to load, you need to type in 2001 minimum. Click apply. Then you need to right click, indicators, go to the little xBrat folder, double click, find Guardian zones, double click, they appear down into here and click apply, and they shall appear on your chart. You're going to have to get in touch with Damien. They are there. It does, you probably not even load it onto your system because you need to click on new if you've not got it loaded onto your system. And again, this is in the video that came with it. You need to go to tools, import NinjaScript add-on, and then you need to find and select the Guardian zones. Okay, so your thing comes up there, you would have downloaded it. Email him again. Now, it is the weekend. If you've asked him for help during this weekend, you won't get it because he can't work 7 hours a day. He's based in Europe. So he will get to you, but just email him again now. Do it again now, and I'll pick the email up and I'll make sure he sorts it out tomorrow. Okay, guys. I just want to reiterate, once you've got them loaded up and on the chart settings that you want, the chart type, the time frames and everything, you've got to make sure that you are sensible with the time frames that you are selecting. So I just want to go through something here, for example, and we haven't launched this and it won't be launched for 6 months. So we are looking at this new slingshot. Okay, now if I just get rid of the weekly for a second and the daily, because I'm on the 5 minute, okay, we start to sort of reduce the amount of clutter on the chart for a start. Okay, what we get here is a little pullback into this zone and we can go short. Now when we go short, we need fresh air to the next zone. Okay, if there's no fresh air, we don't take it. And it hit target 3 and went sideways. That's by the by. But your charts can look extremely busy. Okay, so you need to understand, if you're on a 5 minute chart, you really don't need the weekly. You really don't need the daily. And to be honest, you could probably get rid of 60, depending on where that confluence is. There's only one that's really going to make a difference. So just get rid of it. Let's keep the chart clean. I'm trading off the 5 minute. The 60 minute zones will probably affect what I'm going to do, but when I toggle it on, I can see it's down here, right? So if I'm going into this trading day and it's just tested here and it's pushed back up again, let's just take the 60 off. I know if it comes back down here, because I've just toggled it off, that I'll get support. It doesn't test that again, but I'm keeping the chart clean. Okay. So you can use Hypothetical on roller coaster as well as the xBrat. You just need to be aware that with a roller coaster, you've got to find the groove. So it could be Unirenko, it could be tick, it could be Hypothetical, it could be normal candles with a roller coaster. It depends on the time. It depends really on the time frame that you're trading off with a roller coaster. You've got to find the groove. And again, we haven't done that in the apprenticeship yet. So you've got to find the groove. Okay, let me just reduce that. Is it there? Yeah. Any more questions, guys? This is important. You need to understand where those zones are. You need to understand how to use them and not get confused. It is not rocket science. Again, we talked about earlier, really, we get signal, we get confirmation. And then that next level of confirmation is, do you get fresh air? This short down here, it doesn't matter what signal you use it. This short was massive, 79.53 all the way down to 76.21. No, you can only get one machine ID for the license, Luis. But again, we're on the founder's rate at the moment, $50 a month. I mean, that's a $3,000 trade there. Okay, it's not a great deal, and you know, we can get once we get to 500. And they're going fast. Don't get me wrong. We've got 60 in less than a week. In so many days, 4 days. So yes, it's one machine ID, one license, but they are they're hot zones, okay, and they will disappear and appear, and they are very, very sticky. So don't try and trade into them. Okay, Uriel. I will put it at the top of his list tomorrow. Any more questions, guys? Come on, ask away. something I've forgotten to mention, because remember, this for me is, you know, it's just normal. It's every day for me. Any strategy for fresh air? Again, we talked about the bias depth heat map. That's a confirmation for any strategy. So we'd like to see that bias depth heat map giving us those confirmations for those trades if we're breaking into fresh air. The main thing is fresh air for me is a risk reward of over 1 to 1.6. Okay, so this is the 10-minute time frame. Here, if I'm just trading this fresh air and I've got all of that bias depth heat map giving me saying, yes, I'm going to go short, I need a risk reward. So I'm going to go onto the tools. I'm going to use the fib extensions. Here is just before this move down. That's what my stop will be. My entry will be here. My risk reward is 1 to 1. Is that acceptable? Is that your acceptable? Okay, that's your acceptable risk reward, then you will go for it. If your acceptable risk reward is 1 to 1.6, that's your gauge, if you like. Okay, Yuri, I want to buy your something showing entering ETC. It's probably the roller coaster. I've got a feeling it's the roller coaster. This one here. Okay. So it shows the entry in green, shows you the stop, and it shows you the trailing stop. That's the roller coaster. Yeah. So again, stop, signal, entry. And then your trailing stop all the way down here. So it's called the roller coaster. If you go onto the website, it's called the roller coaster. Yeah. Okay, any more questions? Let's bring back on the VWAP Predator for a second. So again, this is an example here. We're coming up during the European session through this big daily zone. We're coming to the pre-market session here. We're bouncing now onto that. We're coming up to 8 a.m. EST. We get a buy signal. We're going to go long, okay? Because the next resistance is all the way up here. Fresh air. Have we got it? Let's measure the fresh air. So buy signal here, the previous pivot before the buy signal is there. That's where our stop's going to be. That's where our entry is going to be. Our risk reward is huge. Okay, it's actually probably 1 to 2. So I'm going to go to my template, I'm going to load, I'm going to go to risk reward, click apply. Yeah, so a 1 to 1.6. There's my stop down here. There's my entry, risk reward 1 to 1.6. I'm gonna take the trade. It goes all the way to that resistance, okay? No, we don't. No. Any more questions, guys? By the way, you don't take that buy signal there because you're going into resistance. You do not take that buy signal there. there's just some resistance up there. You know, the previous pivots there, that's a 1 to 0.4, 0.5. It's no good. Okay, got to be selective. No, Tara, they're designed around decision points that institutional traders have made over time. And if they continue to make them with those particular zones or price between certain prices and on a number of occasions, a certain percentage, there's lots of logic in there. But in essence, if they continue to make those same decisions on those different timeframes, those zones are relevant. If they don't make a decision on those zones for a certain number of bars and it goes through that percentage, those decision points are no longer relevant. Okay. Again, here, look, sell signal comes, the sell signal actually starts above the zone and closes below the zone. Short here comes all the way down into the daily and all the way to the 15. So again, if you're on the 5 minute, you know, the daily zone's not really that relevant. Yeah, we know you can trade within that daily zone all day. Okay, so it's not really going to be relevant. You just need to be aware it's there. Any more questions before I go, guys? Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Wilbur. Thank you, Zahir. And you, Brian. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. And Martha, thank you. Thanks, Fred. Thank you. Yeah. As I see a gap in education, I'll try and jump on and do these or wait until the monthly webinars. But there was too many questions when we got all these new users, so I needed to answer them. So thanks, Doug, Tara. Sharing is caring. So I'm just going to stop recording a second.